to the first sideshow of Top Chef Season 22, Canada. Fling, swing,
Swing.
Daryl was producer.
They didn't do the swing on this year's Top Chef.
They don't?
I don't think so.
Well, how dare they? What are we supposed to do? We need drops. We need sound
They're trying
drops.
not to be as gimmicky as they've been in the past, but I don't appreciate that. I kind of like some of the gimmicky stuff.
Some of the stuff that has remained, fire challenges, immunity.
Yeah.
I will say...
Well, no more immunity and quick fires.
No, which I kind of appreciate.
Yeah.
Now it's all cash.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
I like.
now if you win an elimination, I think that's when you're...
Well, quick fire challenges, they get money because their
Yes.
sponsor gives them money.
Yes.
And then they usually get some kind of advantage in
Yes.
the elimination challenges.
But I'm trying to remember when they win immunity because they still do give it.
Elimination challenges. The winner of the elimination challenge gets immunity for the next elimination challenge.
Got it. Yes.
So they can't be eliminated for a week.
Right.
They get a break.
But they don't get it in the quick fire anymore.
No more
Which
quick
I like
fire.
that better, actually.
Agreed. I
Yeah.
think that's completely
Same.
fair because the quick fires are really a way to highlight the theme of the week and also the sponsors. So there's nobody should
and
get
the guest
eliminated.
judges
Exactly.
and all the people that are going to be part of that.
So it
episode.
should definitely
I
not
agree.
be, there should be no immunity with that. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
agree.
first and foremost, there's been, at this recording, there's been 2 episodes and one-ish quickfire kitchens. 2.
What's a quick fire kitchen?
What is the kitchen one? With Tom.
Are we talking about
There's 2.
the when they get eliminated?
Yeah, what are, Last Chance
Chance
Kitchen.
Kitchen.
Oh my God,
Yeah, I thought you
Jesus
were talking.
Christ.
Yeah,
Yes.
there have been 2,
There's been
and they're
2.
doing that one a lot different.
And we can talk about that at the end.
Yeah.
So anyway, I have to tell you that overall, I feel like the talent this year is great.
I do too.
This is so much better than Wisconsin.
Agreed.
Like a million times better. I wonder if they were like, you guys, we can't do that twice in a row.
I hope so
The
because
show will end if we do another Wisconsin.
Padma's no longer carrying us as the host. I'm not saying Kristen is bad.
No, but you know what I've noticed? They're not giving her a whole lot of airtime.
Well, she doesn't need it.
No.
She's not that interesting. She's
No.
beautiful.
She is beautiful.
She's
but,
a very beautiful
But there's a
girl.
couple things I've noticed. One, she's not interacting on a personal level with the contestants anymore.
I mean, she's not crying over their dishes because she's so moved.
They've hyper edited her,
Yeah.
which I'm good with. I don't know. I didn't do any of my research, but I feel like they got a new editing team.
Well, this is the first year, at least as far as I know, I could be wrong about this, that Gail Simmons is an executive producer.
Okay, then I'm loving her changes.
Yeah,
If
and
she's
Padma's
had,
no longer.
if she's had any kind of say over how
Yeah.
they're doing the show editing and production, I'm loving it.
Well, I don't find it necessarily non-coincidental that 1, she's a newly named executive producer, and 2, they did it in Canada.
Oh, interesting.
She's from Canada.
She's Canadian. Yes. I feel like she's taking a little bit more of a lead.
I think she's probably always wanted to. They wouldn't let her.
It's just interesting that Kristen is not as prevalent as she was last season, and I'm not hating it.
Yeah, I think last year they were so worried that
They
the audience
thrust her.
Yeah, they thought
Yes.
they're not going to want because Padma's gone and everybody loved Padma.
Not
and-
everybody loved Padma, apparently.
No, I agree.
did
I
not
loved
know-
her, but
I did
no.
too, but whatever.
But so they thought they had to cram her down our throat
And they
in
didn't.
order for us to accept her.
Right.
It wasn't necessary.
I'm
was too
liking
much.
this more soft touch with
me too.
Kristen's appearances. I think that her backing off of the contestants. First of all, these chefs are so damn accomplished.
They really
Overall,
are.
now there are definitely some weak ones.
Oh, they have to make some, otherwise it wouldn't be interesting.
These are the ones that are like, oh, they're scrappy. Maybe they'll do really well on
Yeah.
the show when they're clearly, in comparison to some of these people,
Yeah.
no.
I don't like it when they throw an older chef in there and like they make them kind of like the underdog, like Anya.
Okay, I have to tell you, if we're going to talk about some of the chefs, Anya, who's from Moscow, she had a restaurant in San Francisco that was very well received, recently closed.
Okay.
Not because of anything other than I think she decided to close
That
it.
happens.
Yeah, it's not
A lot of
uncommon.
accomplished chefs have restaurants.
Very much.
Like Ming's, what's his name? Simply Ming. What's his name?
Ming Tsai?
Yes, he had that restaurant. I think it was called Blue Orchid.
Yes.
or something like that.
Yeah.
For decades.
I thought it was Blue Cricket, but I think
No.
you're right. I think it's Blue Orchid.
And I always wanted to go to it, but it was in Boston, so I knew I was probably never going to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And it was
You're
his signature
right.
restaurant. It was never not packed, never not
he
sold
closed
out,
it.
and he closed it.
think
It
they get-
wasn't because they went out of business.
I think they get, like, I'm uninspired now. Let's
They
move on.
basically sunsetted it. He's like, we've done this.
Yes.
We're done.
And I love that for them.
Eric
Anyway.
Repair's done the same thing. Yeah.
I will say that Anya, who is, I don't know if she is the most mature contestant this
I
season.
think she is, yes.
She's so beautifully elegant, well-spoken, very quietly confident. not underselling her when I say I think the first time I saw her, I'm like, this woman's top 5 easily.
Well, the very first
She's
quick
so
fire
good.
was a team challenge.
It was.
And her portion of it, and I think it was grilled.
It was a soup or something.
No, no, it was cabbage.
Yes.
Her only ingredient, her only contribution to the dish was the cabbage.
Right.
And she was with these 2 young, other chefs, and they were the ones that were presenting at chef's table, at judge's table, and she was just kind of standing there, and they didn't say what she did. They didn't even bring up the fact that there was cabbage in the dish.
Right.
And they're like, okay, great. And then she's like, and the cabbage at the very end. She was like, as they were walking away, she's like, what about my cabbage?
Yeah, you can
like that was important and it was delicious.
And they actually preferred that part.
They did.
That was the part they liked.
So I think the way that scene was edited was to kind of make us feel sorry for her. Like, no one cares about her. These young, fiery chefs, and this older lady,
I will
But she came back with a vengeance.
She did, and I'm really appreciating her edit and her storyline so far.
Yeah.
She's like, look, I was in communism. We got $20 a week, man, and we had to go forage. Yeah. This is what we're and I didn't realize they were able to bring. They mentioned this in the second episode that each chef was able to bring something from home, and she brought this very unique pine cone jam, which now I want to taste.
Are you serious right now? You probably can't even, right?
She probably makes it. Because she even said, she goes, we had to go out and forage for food because we only had $20 a week for food for a family, and we all went out in the wilderness.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, I want to see her. I want to see more of her. I want to know what her dishes are like. They loved her dish.
Yes.
I knew she wouldn't win, but I still liked it. Now, in this episode 1, they did not show Vincenzo at all initially.
Well, he definitely wasn't featured as a front runner
at all. And
I'm starting to, I hate it when I do this. We both do it, where you start to look to see how they produce the show and how they edit it, because you know that people that aren't getting highlighted are going to end up being somebody.
They're full on end game.
They want us to focus on people who aren't going to be a thing because they want us to think they're going to be a thing.
There are some people that I think in general are getting a lot of camera time because they're good for TV, and one of them is Massimo.
Absolutely. Yes.
Massimo is loud. He's from Quebec.
Some of them don't. Some of the other chefs don't like him.
They don't like how he's a little too
cocky,
egregious,
he's
and
arrogant.
loud. And you know what? Fine. He showed a lot of promise in episode 1. They really liked everything he did.
Yeah.
Episode 2, which was brunch, which I cannot even believe they did that challenge.
I know. I didn't love it.
Ask any chef their worst thing, and they'll all tell you it's brunch.
Yeah.
No one likes to make brunch. I couldn't believe they did a brunch challenge. Even Tom's like, I hate brunch.
They had to, because they had to do the fucking maple syrup.
They have to do the maple.
It's Canada.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when they did Wisconsin, they did the cheese one. It was like, you know what? Why do you have to do the obligatory thing for the region? No.
Maybe they think people want to see it.
I mean, I think they're trying to draw the audience. Like, so whoever's Canadian or from Canada or who's of Canadian descent, they're like, ooh, top chefs in Canada this year. We're so excited. I'm like, ugh.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But I'm with you.
Because they did the poutine.
Yeah, they did poutine. And of course that one girl who thankfully is gone now, they're just like, we really hate your poutine. It had shrimp in it. And I'm like, Bailey. I hated Bailey from day one.
Well, Bailey won. I know we're going to talk about that, but she won Last Chance Kitchen.
Couldn't tell you how much I hated it that she won. But it's fine. I mean, she's obviously has some talent. She's on the freaking show.
Yeah, absolutely. But she's not one of the ones they're bringing into Last Chance Kitchen and be like, fight your way on. You weren't good enough to be on the show.
Fight your way out. Yeah, like that one gentleman who's now currently fighting his way through the thing. I don't know if he'll make it, but
I don't either. We'll see.
Yeah, basically, the way I looked at it is this. First of all, Vincenzo, who is from Napa Valley, I've had the privilege of eating some of his food.
Oh.
My daughter worked with him in the kitchen when she was there.
I did know that we had some kind, I don't want to say connection.
It's not a connection. I've never. Actually, I have met him,
Kenzie
indirectly.
Works and has lived in Napa for a long time.
And she worked at Press, which is... amazing. And he's the sous there with another very accomplished chef.
So before the show started, you had told me, they're like, Kenzie knows one of the contestants. I'm like, oh my God, yay, someone to root for.
And when I asked her, I said, hey, Vincenzo's going to be on Top Chef 22. And she goes, oh, really? And I said, yeah. I go, how do you think he's going to do? He's going to murder. He's so fucking talented.
So, but you never know, right?
Well, I'm
saying, what I was going to say when we knew, and then now we started watching, now we're 2 episodes in.
Yes.
I'm just so thrilled that he's not one of the losery ones. You know what I mean?
He's barely on camera. They're barely.
That's a good sign.
Yes. As we were saying, the way they're editing. So I've noticed they're doing that with Vincenzo. They're doing it with the one woman who was on Chopped.
I
can't remember her name.
Well, there's so many right now. No, when there's this many chefs, it's hard to keep track.
Is it Kat? No, Kat's the one with the weird haircut, which I hate. I think it's Katiana. It's Katiana. She is her brother. She's adopted. And her brother's a famous actor.
Oh,
and I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah.
So Katiana won Chopped on Food Network.
Yes.
And I remember when I saw her face, I'm like, I've seen her before.
Yeah.
She's badass. Okay. She's also getting a quiet edit. I'm not seeing much of her either. So I think she's going to do quite well.
Good.
Those are the 2. And then there's a couple here and there that I've noticed that are not getting a ton of airtime, which means they're probably going to progress.
Okay.
So
it's so new into the season.
2 episodes.
Yeah.
But you can already see, it happening.
Yeah, for sure.
Already.
Well, they have to shape from the beginning.
They do.
And they are. And
I did notice.
I'm living for it. Surprised
about how many chefs are struggling with time management.
Yeah,
there was a lot of time management issues in both episodes. Like the one guy who had steamed eggs and there was plastic on the bowl.
I know.
And Chef Daniel got it, of course.
Blood. Yeah, I mean, but so time is usually an issue. What I have noticed is that the better talent they get, the greater the talent, the more those chefs have a tendency to struggle with time. Because in real life for them, they're not rushing in 30 to 45 minutes. They're prepping all day and the day before or the week before to do whatever magnificent thing they're going to serve in their restaurant.
Right.
So this is like,
they also have
really,
staff.
I have to have the level that I'm used to. Yes. I have to have the level of food that I have to show people why I'm here and what I can produce in 30 minutes.
And I also have to do it all myself.
It's a struggle.
I don't have anybody under me.
I have to cook an onion.
I have to peel this. What? Exactly. Although I will say, I mean, and I'm not going to continue pontificating on him, but I'm very excited to see what he's up to. Is Vincenzo is a sous. So he does a lot of his own work. Yeah. He made a souffle in episode 2.
He was the one.
He
said he practiced that for months.
He did. And not only that,
which I thought was a really interesting. I'm glad they let that.
Vincenzo or the other guy? You're talking about the poutine guy because they're like, how did you get this potato?
that guy. You're right. My bad.
I think his name is Schwang. I'm not kidding. Wait, I said that?
Schwai.
Not Schwang. Schwang. I was thinking of the knives.
That sounded like a penis.
Yeah, so Schwai was so sure that there would be a poutine challenge.
Smart.
That he elevated a poutine dish.
And I wanted to eat his poutine. Funny.
I want to eat his poutine.
I want to eat your poutine. No, but seriously, when I saw his...
It looked delicious.
I don't know why I do this to myself. I could never cook at the level these people do.
Never.
And why would I?
It would take me days.
Well, they're trained. And they're...
Very.
All the things.
Highly trained.
And I'm like, what would I make if I was on Top Chef? What kind of poutine would I make? And I'm like, why are you even thinking about this?
Do you know what I said when they said we have a poutine challenge? Everybody's like, they're running around like crazy. I'm like, oh, wait, they have to make their own French fries. Like there's no frozen Oritas in the freezer.
They have to cut the potatoes.
They have to make them themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Forget it. Well, no, you know what? And then Daryl goes, no one made a tater tot. I'm like, no, they didn't.
Well, tater tots are no.
I mean, they could, I suppose, but that would be really
hard.
Shred
them and all that. No, they don't have time. No, but what I hate, the only thing I will say that kind of pissed me off was if you're gonna have a poutine challenge for Top Chef, producers. Everyone gets their own goddamn fryer.
Seriously.
Why the fuck do you have to share a fryer? You have 30 minutes. I know. You're all going to fry.
Everybody.
You know it.
All of them.
So they shouldn't be fighting over fryers because it's just unfair.
It's like in Chopped when there's only one ice cream maker. Why are you doing this to these poor people?
That's what I'm saying. Like, look, okay, if you're
everybody should have their own little table fryer.
That way it's totally fair.
And they only need to make 3 of them.
And trust me, there's still going to be people that are going to fuck up.
Of course.
So but the reason why they fuck up shouldn't be because they couldn't get to a goddamn fryer.
I don't like
that. Or
that.
because they got to a fryer that somebody just finished using and the temperature's too low.
Right?
Which happened. You know, and I'm like, no.
Like that poor it wasn't Schwai.
No,
it was the other. It was the other gentleman who decided to do a General Tso's chicken, and he's like the oil is absolutely hammered.
Yes,
it was.
That's
was
what I'm
dark.
talking about.
It was dirty. So his breading looked like shit.
And I think he was the guy that was running around, guys. Fryer. Does anybody have a fryer? Are you almost done with your fryer? And I'm like, why, Top Chef?
Don't do that.
Like, no, because if you're gonna have it, let them disadvantage themselves. Don't let it be
with
because
their
of
own
some equipment thing.
Right?
Yeah, I don't like that.
So, Brandy, who comes from Chicago, she is a contestant who worked under a couple of Top Chef's previous contestants, women, and came in with quite the ego and quite the attitude.
Brandy?
Yes. Brandy.
Who the fuck is Brandy?
Bailey? Bailey. Sorry.
Yeah,
I already forgot her.
Who the hell is Brandy?
She's a fine girl. So Bailey comes in, and I immediately hate her, and I don't know why. She's done nothing to me. I don't know this girl.
Doesn't matter.
But I came in, and I just didn't like the way she looked. She doesn't look clean to me, and I'm like, I don't want you touching my food.
Oh yes, the little redhead with the glasses.
I'm not a fan. So she comes in and immediately starts fucking shit up. Excuse my language, but she's like,
"Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna do a carrot risotto." And in episode 1, she does a carrot risotto. They're like, she gets all these fine ingredients, and she gives us a carrot risotto. Okay,
right. Yeah.
So she was in the bottom for that.
We know why she got eliminated. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was in the bottom for that, and she's just like, I know risotto doesn't go well on Top Chef, but I'm going to be the first person to do a great risotto. So they go, and Tom goes, so Gail, what'd you think about the risotto? She goes, well, it's not the worst risotto we've ever had on Top Chef, but it wasn't great.
No.
Lucky for her, someone else made wallpaper paste, and she didn't end up in the bottom because
that time.
Her and then the woman that has the Mo haircut from Wisconsin who forgot to plate half her shit.
Yeah.
Those two were so much worse. The carrot risotto was saved. She's so lucky. So then she gets another chance to prove herself. I'm doing a maple tart. Sounds delish. I'm putting honey in it. Why would you do that? That sounds terrible. That's going to be pure sweet.
Yeah.
You're not going to taste anything. So what happens? The mix breaks. Because it breaks, so she has to. I have to start over, everybody. And everybody's like, we give zero fucks.
No one gives a fuck.
No one cares. And like when she's in Whole Foods and she's like, anyone time? And she's like, great, no callback. Fine. Like no one would respond to her. I wanted her to someone to go, shut up, Brandon, or whatever your name is.
I have always said
Bailey,
whenever they're doing on any episode in any season and somebody's like, has anybody seen? And I'm like, shut up. No one cares that you can't find your ingredient, and because we're all looking for one too, and
no one is helping you.
So
bitch.
stop it. I'm like, quit it. And sometimes they do it in the kitchen too, and it kind of gets on my nerves. Does anybody have green onions? I have some. It's like, just start looking around.
Like,
God,
I cannot with it.
Is there really a shortage of green onions in the pantry?
She's already pressed that no one will respond to her calls for assistance in the Whole Foods, and I'm like, no one. Why are you important?
Right.
Why are you the most important person in the Whole Foods? There is some granola eater trying to get food, and you're like, meh. It's like no one cares about you.
No. This is a competition, bitch.
So I was already like, okay, so we've learned nothing from episode 1. Right. I see that. Great. So now her tart isn't working, and she has to start over. And I'm like, oh, and you're on Vincenzo's team. He's going to love you.
Yeah.
Can't wait. So, of course, it doesn't work. So now instead of a tart, she has this weirdness that she's trying to cover with cream.
Like a cookie, yeah.
And they're immediately like, all I taste is raw dough. I don't taste any maple, all the shit.
Yeah, I think, who was it? Somebody was like, there was nothing about her dish I enjoyed. That was literally nothing.
Was that Gail?
I think it was Gail.
I love her for that.
I love Gail.
Love her for that. And I love Tom in the first episode. I know we're kind of going back and forth, but in the first episode, he goes, if the food is good, I'm happy. And then he ate something. He goes, this does not make me happy.
Yes, he said, I get grumpy when the food is
bad. He goes, I am not happy. And I'm like, oh, Tom. And then when he's eating this brunch, he's like, I hate brunch. And I'm like, I hate brunch too, Tom.
Grumpy old man.
I love Tom.
I do too.
And then Daryl goes,
I want to go to his restaurant.
He's drinking sparkling rosé. And I'm like, a man after my own heart. He gets it. He's like, if I'm going to have to do brunch at 4:00 in the afternoon, I'm drinking champagne. I loved it for that. Anyway, so the appropriate people were sent home. I think Vincenzo was likely annoyed. Massimo did not come with all of his best. He did steak and eggs. And he did a thin slice of steak and a tiny egg where he cut all the white off and it was just the yolk. I'm like, this is very uninspired. I need more from Massimo if he's going to stick around.
Well, like I said, it's the very beginning.
It is. And he's getting a lot of time. And he's getting a lot of airtime, and it concerns me because I like Massimo.
Well, he could be a top fiver, but I don't think he's a winner.
No, definitely not. But I want to see him one more time do something fantastic. So that he has, I mean, and he's like, I'd be embarrassed if I got sent home. This is my hometown. Like, I would hate it if I got sent home. So what I was going to mention is, although the, what's the matter?
Doesn't it look like it's turning my finger green?
I don't know.
Or is that?
Maybe? Isn't that solid gold?
Yes. That's why I'm like, what?
Oh, you know what? That can happen. That's a chemical reaction from your skin, not the bad gold.
Never. I've had this ring for 5 years.
I've never seen your finger turn green on anything.
I have cancer.
Maybe you do.
I've heard that your finger can turn green when you have cancer.
Really? Oh, I'm like, really? I'm like, I immediately start looking at my hands. I'm like, really?
We always think we have
ears.
I have the more common diseases. You're the one that has things like, slap cheek syndrome or whatever it was.
Me? Oh.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
You're right. I did think I had slap cheek syndrome.
See? I remembered it.
That is a thing.
She was so sure she had it.
It's just rosacea.
Thank you. I knew that.
Well, I did.
But I know you have to go through it.
Hey, whenever I get a swollen gland, I'm sure I have leukemia. All right.
So my finger being green and me immediately being like, oh shit, this is it.
I have to cut it off.
There's a reason that the circulation isn't right in this finger, and I don't know why.
Well, Stephanie, we don't want to tell you, but you have knuckle cancer. And no amount of Top Chef's going to do it. Sorry.
Well, I might as well enjoy Top Chef while I have the chance. This could be my last season. Next season, you'll be like,
next season, I'll be like all by myself. Welcome to Top Chef 23.
Swing.
Alone. She had knuckle. She did have knuckle cancer.
You guys heard it first on the Ugly Truth. All those times we thought we had something, and she actually did.
She had it. Anyway, so I'm still pro Vincenzo. My only concern, now that I've seen it, my only concern is he's going to be unwilling to change his decisions when he makes a decision on something. And they're going to be like, hey, we've decided we need you to do this instead. And he's like, I'm not doing that.
This was the guy that insisted on having the apple
and it worked.
Boat. Yeah, and I thought it was dumb. I was like, this guy.
They loved it.
They loved it.
They loved his apple boat.
They loved his apple
and I loved
cup or boat
and
or
I
bowl. Apple bowl.
And I loved his attitude with the other hippy dippy chef.
Yeah.
The woman who I think is probably going to do okay for a while.
Yeah.
Even though she's not my fave. I do kind of like her toughness. Okay. She doesn't take any shit, but she actually has some talent. Like, she's actually quite good.
Yeah, well, I would hope so. She's on Top Chef.
Well, I don't know. Brandy's on, or Brandy. What was her name? Bailey.
Bailey,
the risotto girl.
Yeah. But you know what? Bailey in her why can't I never say that?
Last Chance Kitchen.
Yes. She killed it.
She did kill it.
She crushed it. She really did what she should have done in the show.
I will say this about Last Chance Kitchen.
Because the pressure's so much less there.
It's so different.
Yeah.
They're on their own. They're sharing nothing with anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
There's one other person. That's easy to do.
Totally.
And Tom isn't standing over them the whole time.
No.
He's chilling in the back.
Totally.
So to me, everyone
and they have nothing
better.
to lose in a sense. They've already been eliminated, and it's just like, well, you know what? I'm just going to go for it.
Right. And it only gets harder because more talented people start coming in at the end.
I agree, but at the same time, I feel like the people who've been in Last Chance Kitchen for a long time, they've done it so many times
they're dialed in.
That they're like, I got this.
There is an advantage to
that. And they think about it. They're like, okay, the next time I'm going to do this, or I'm going to try that. I mean, really, all it is switching your proteins and your flavor.
And they also, they know the pantry really well. All of it. And not only that, you really get to see what they're made of when they end up filtering back into the main competition.
Yeah.
They usually don't do well.
Sometimes.
The one guy last
That's how
season
Kristen won her season.
Yes, but she's also very, very good.
Yeah, but she got eliminated.
I know, but she ended up winning because she's I think it was a poor elimination. I don't think she should have gone to Last Chance Kitchen. I think she should have stayed.
Personally, I think it was a production thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, now look at her. She's the host of the whole fucking show. So maybe it was all a ploy. I don't believe anything anymore.
I don't either.
Everything's controversial.
I think they let some things happen naturally, but I think they take advantage of where they can.
We've even talked about that where we've said they pull someone incredibly talented, put them in Last Chance Kitchen to get people to watch, to get them filtered back onto the show.
Yes, and I don't think it's necessarily planned, but I'm thinking they're like, you know what? She really is the worst of all of the ones. We could save her because she's great and let her keep going and let it be somebody else.
Yes,
but how exciting would it be if we let her be eliminated
and then she wins,
let her fight her way back?
Yes, and it worked. I mean?
Yeah. I don't think they think that in the beginning, like, okay, we're gonna do that, you know. But
agreed.
Whatever.
So we'll see. You're right. Bailey did do very well in Last Chance Kitchen. She got her confidence back, and she clearly can cook.
And Top Chef loves to throw people in our faces that we hate.
And I said the same thing. I said she's getting the villain edit. They're showing every ounce of her attitude
and all her annoying little quirks.
Yeah, her weird little bodily. Yes, they're showing it because people like me and you hate people like that. So we will love to hate her.
Right. Last year,
and I will be furious when she gets back into the fray.
Maybe. I don't know.
Then she'll get, Vincenzo will be like, God, this bitch is back?
Yeah, I don't think so.
No,
but you're right.
He doesn't give anybody crap, I've noticed. He doesn't care. Like, he hasn't given anyone any garbage. He's just like, this is how we're doing. Like with the apple bowl. You know, he put a bowl in instead.
He just made it.
And he turned to her and he goes, see, a bowl in a bowl. Are you happy now? And she's like, yes, chef. She's like, fine, Vinny, you win this round.
I mean,
I think she's talented. And I can't remember her name, and I'm mad.
I know who you're talking about.
But I really like her attitude because she's fierce. And I like that a lot.
The bowl wasn't a hill worth dying on to me.
It wasn't.
Because it didn't change the dish, the fundamentals of the dish.
No, and he gave it
was
gave it
just
to her.
Aesthetics. Yeah. And had he been
100%.
wrong, he would have fallen on that sword.
Absolutely.
And they loved it.
They did. And they're like, this is so inventive.
And she's like
and she's like, God damn it.
Yeah, but so now they'll listen to him probably.
So this is all I will say. There's a couple of exceptions, but in general, I find that the women chefs this season aren't as strong as many of the male chefs. And I attribute that to the industry, not casting.
Yeah, I agree.
I
think they pulled what they could pull.
This is the best they could get because there's just not given... Women are just not given the opportunities that men like Vinny and Massimo get.
Totally.
There are no doubt in my mind, there are women in Quebec that can cook rings around Massimo.
For sure.
But he's handsome, he's aggressive, and he can cook, so he made the show. But you know there's some Sues out there going, I know Massimo, he doesn't do shit in the kitchen. You know
it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And
there's a bunch of women behind him that help him be what he is.
So talented.
Yeah, I agree. You know who...
that's the thing that I see. I'm like, there are so many women that we will never hear about because they always elevate the men first in that world. Any male-dominated industry, it's like that. And I would just love to
be another competition show that's going right now. That's I don't love it, but I
it the knives one?
No, it's Tournament of Champions.
Oh,
so it's guys, and he uses all of the television chefs to compete.
Yes,
but one of the chefs that I've seen, I saw her on Top Chef first, and she's since become a television chef.
Which one?
Karen Kuwinowicz. She's goddamn. I cannot say her name.
Karen
is her first name.
What does she look like?
Oh my God, she's gorgeous. She's from Boston, and
it's not Tiffany
Kunowicz. No, it's not Tiffany Faison. I hate her.
Oh God, I hate her too.
She
never improved.
Antonio Lafonza. I'm sick of them.
Antonia needs to stop competing. She's so emotional.
She wants to win because she wants to prove that she didn't win Top Chef. And now she's been Guy Fieri's one of they're almost best friends.
She's never gonna win. She's not good enough. No offense, but you are not Brooke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Akunowicz, I think is how you say it. Yeah,
I think I know who that is.
So she definitely was on Top Chef.
Let me see her face. Love her.
I
know
her.
exactly who that is.
This bitch is badass.
She is so freaking good. Her tattoos alone.
I mean, everything. And she's a phenomenal chef. She's great.
And she's so beautiful.
But she is.
She's never eliminated.
What?
She always gets eliminated in like the third to the round.
Because I think she truly is a very talented chef, and competition
cooking is not the same.
It's not the thing.
It's not the same.
Who else is terrible at it is my boyfriend's brother, Brian
Voltaggio's.
Yes, Brian Voltaggio never won a goddamn thing,
and he's
he's amazing.
talented.
He's the best, but he's just not a competitive chef. You know what I mean?
And it is different.
It's
for
so
sure.
different.
And they keep throwing them in these competition shows.
Yes.
And it's just, time constraints and having to, I'm sure they get a ton of prep before they even get into the championships.
They have to, yeah.
Yeah, the bracket thing. I mean, they know what they're given an idea of what the proteins will be and stuff.
Well, it's only there's only a handful of choices. I mean, there's only so many things it can be.
Yeah, and I'm like, somebody was saying they do kind of give them an idea of what they might be getting. But the reality is that you still have to cook something delicious.
Well, yeah, and it has to be different. It can't just be any old thing.
No, exactly.
So yeah, so she anyway, that show is going right now as well, and I find that interesting that they would run those two at the same time. They usually don't.
It's very different. And
a lot of the chefs that are on that show were on Top Chef.
Yeah, they used to keep it real separate, and now there's this bleeding over. Like the fact that Katiana was on a winner of Chopped.
Yeah.
She literally dominated, and now she's on Top Chef is weird.
I'd like to know, because before what it used to be,
that just tells me that there's not enough women chefs.
There used to be that if you were on Top Chef, you had to sign, you couldn't do
exclusivity.
Yeah, for a long time, and then you would know when that ended because they would end up on Food Network.
Right.
But now it doesn't seem like it's either less time or not at all because they're like you said, they're both doing the same thing at the same time.
I was wondering about that too, and I'm like, I wonder if it's because at the end of the day, some billionaire corporation owns everything. Yeah. And they're like, we don't care anymore. Sure. We own all of it. It doesn't matter to us. It used to be
like Merv Griffin. I mean, he didn't matter what channel you watched, he owned it. You know what I mean?
True.
So
true.
I think it's probably, yes.
Anyway, so all that being said.
There's enough money for all of us. Can we all just
who cares?
Get rich?
Yeah. I will say that with the exception of Bailey, I'm not completely disliking anyone.
I haven't decided on anybody.
Bailey's the only one that I have strong feelings on, which means to me that I'm going to see her stupid face for a while.
Well, she's eliminated for now. I mean, as far as she's in Last Chance Kitchen, but
the thing is you're correct. They are making her as irritating as humanly possible, and that is good TV. They want me mad,
especially in the beginning.
They want me to not like her, and it's working.
And there's nothing in the beginning that they really need to do stuff to keep us interested.
Absolutely,
because it's a long ride.
If you are, I mean, honestly, I know that she's not going to hear this, but honestly, if Bailey does hear this, congratulations, because I remember you.
Yeah.
I remember everything you made. I remember that you won.
She's like, see, bitch.
You're memorable.
Yeah.
I may never want to be your friend, but I'm really happy that I remember you because that means they did their job and you did your job.
And she could be a lovely person in real life. We
don't care.
We don't care because she's a person on TV.
Yeah. But you're right. But you're correct. And she's in Chicago. I freaking love Chicago food.
Yeah, same.
Maybe I'll try her food one day. And I'll have to eat my words.
Exactly.
I doubt it.
No, you won't. Do you know how many of these chefs that I've seen on these shows over the 22 seasons that I was like, I want to go to their restaurant? And I'm like, that's never happening. It depends on where they live.
Well, not only that, but I mean, you're right. And at the end of the day, she's a woman in a real tough world.
Thank you.
I give her that. Too. For sure.
Do you know how hard it is to get on Top Chef?
Stephanie, I can't even imagine.
For shits and giggles a couple of years ago.
Oh, you told me.
Yes. The application and the process to even try, it's so hard.
It's like, I think next year I'd like to apply. Well, start now.
Right.
I mean,
you'd have to do it years down the line because the pedigree that you have to have, the people who you have to use for references, they're acclaimed chefs that nobody would, you know what I mean? It's like... It really is the best of the best.
It really is. And the fact that, so like I said,
there's no grassroots chefs on those shows anymore.
No. And you know what? That's kind of interesting because the food is just so much better now.
It is better.
Even Tom said, he goes, this is some of the best food we've ever had.
Well, they wanted to elevate the title so that if you won Top Chef, it actually meant something. And you weren't just like the best cook on that episode or that season. And I agree.
So with all that being said, how do you feel so far about everything? About the show
they added a prize. So the prize they didn't have before is that you get to cook in the James Beard kitchen.
Huge.
Which is a big deal.
It's a big deal to chefs.
It is, to chefs, absolutely.
They don't care about Michelin, they care about James Beard.
Absolutely. Yes. And it is a very intimate setting, and I've seen other chefs that aren't as well known on TV, but that cook there. And it's a big honor. So I like that. Yeah. the other stuff, you know, it's like, you know, I hate that the fact that they're trying to like, you know, you were right about, I think, did you say it last year or the year before about the sponsorship being a little much?
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It is.
And I struggle with it.
I do too.
Do you really need it that bad? Honestly?
Whoever is selling them, whoever's selling the show, they're over-promising and over-delivering.
Because the prize is so big, it's $250,000, right?
Like the water people.
Saratoga water.
If I have to see another blue bottle down someone's gullet,
and by the way,
care.
I saw Saratoga.
I'm not going to eat it.
Drink it, yeah.
Drink it. Or eat it.
So I saw Saratoga water the other day. It's one of those waters that is $12 for 6 bottles.
It's a boutique-y water.
It's fancy schmancy. Yeah. You know, I mean, I'm like, and you know what? If you've ever tried any of those waters, they don't taste that good.
And they're not very carbonated.
I haven't tried their water necessarily, but I've tried other fancy waters that I was like, I want to see what this, and they're not good. No.
I'll just have my Jarritos. Jarritos? Mineral water, Stephanie.
It's bomb.
It's bomb.
Well, we also like
Topo,
yeah.
I do like Topo Chico.
I've stopped. I haven't bought any lately.
Me neither.
Why?
Well, because I don't want to get into it because you'll just judge me.
No, I won't. Did you get burned out on it?
No, it's just I'm boycotting Coca-Cola.
Oh, that's a Coca-Cola product?
Mm-hmm. They bought it. They bought it, which pisses me off. But it's fine.
No. I haven't not bought it for that reason. I just haven't.
Well, it's very expensive for starters, but Jarritos is equal to Topo, and I
have those in my fridge right now.
Privately owned by Jarritos, and I'm all about it.
I have guava and grapefruit in my fridge right now.
I will say Daryl worked with them for many years. Some of the best humans you'll ever.
Good.
Yeah, he loved Jarritos. Loved it. He's like, have you ever had Jarritos? I'm like, yeah, my dad used to buy it. It's incredibly sweet. It's incredibly
I don't
sweet.
think it is, but okay.
Well, some of them
it depends
are.
on which one. The pineapple, yes, but
well, you know, our father was a sugar freak, so the ones that he bought
it with natural sugar.
Yeah, so the ones he bought were very, very sweet. To me, they were. But he also liked Pepsi.
He probably liked the tamarind.
Yeah, so I've started revisiting Jarritos. I like their mineral water quite a bit.
It's really bubbly.
It's so good because it's natural mineral. So I love that. But now I'm starting to go. I'm like, maybe I want the red one.
Yeah, I get all of them. The only one I don't like is the piña. I don't like that.
Really
I don't like the tamarind one because it's also sweet.
Yes.
But all of the rest, I love the lime.
Oh my God. If Top Chef was sponsored by Jarritos,
right?
That'd be a good one.
Why don't they? So I don't know how we got off on that rant, but I definitely saw the Saratoga water the other day and I was like, that is absurd. I'm like, $13 for 6 fucking little bottles? No. Absolutely not.
And BMW is theirs, obviously.
They've been for a long time. Yes. That's nothing new.
What's the other one? What's the other new sponsor? I can't remember. I think
they do them in challenges where they'll so they might represent one challenge or whatever.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I'm kind of over that, and I feel like the show is so renowned now. Yeah. I mean, it's it's gotten nominated for Oscars, Emmys, whatever you want to say.
You know what I would love?
Why do you need all this sponsorship shit?
I don't know, but what I would really love is for someone to come in and say, we're going to sponsor this season and we're going to do ad-free.
Yeah.
Like an ad-free episode.
Thank you.
We're going to be like, this episode is ad-free thanks to BMW.
I love that. And have their products be in the background, or you know how they do that where but you don't have to have like, today everybody's going to cook with Quaker oats. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I get it, but it's like, it seems so tedious.
Well, I get it too, but at the same time, I think when you achieve a certain level of success on a show,
22 seasons
that
is definitely
at some point, you really don't need to keep doing that shit anymore. I get it when you're in the beginning and you really need the money but now we're over that. Like the Top Chef, or not the Top Chef, the Food Network one, none of that shit is sponsored. They don't tell you what brand of pork chop they're using.
Not at all.
Snake
Farms
we
pork.
don't care. Yes.
It's like courtesy of Snake Farms.
None of that.
Courtesy of, yeah.
So if they can do it, I mean, and the only thing I hate about that show is it's so many fucking episodes.
A lot.
Christ almighty.
So many.
It's like 30 fucking episodes. They do the brackets, like I know, and then they do the. I'm like, I can't. I don't. With all that.
Well, and
I don't watch it.
I will tell you this. I think he's amazing. He's done so much for the food industry. I can't see Guy Fieri one more time. I'm so over his face. Like, he's great, and I know
I agree.
He's done so much for small business and all of the things. I don't take away any of that stuff. Yeah. But Food Network, you have other people, right?
Well,
can we bring some new ones in?
They did the same thing with Bobby Flay.
Oh my God!
They did it with
Giada,
Rachel Ray. They
Stephanie.
just go through phases.
Rachel Ray,
Jamie,
girl, what is happening?
Her TikTok is hilarious.
The woman needs a brush.
I like people who do the, what do they call it? The stitches.
Stephanie, Rachel Ray needs a hairbrush.
Rachel Ray just needs to retire.
She needs
and take
to
her billions of dollars and go away.
I mean, people are saying she's a drunk, and that's why she
is.
acts and looks the way she does
Absolutely.
on her shows.
She's swollen. Look at her.
And some people are like, listen.
So is her husband.
They're like, well, they just got hammered the entire pandemic when they were building that house in Italy. Apparently,
Absolutely.
from what I've read, is that the people that had to help them build that house were like, these people were drinking wine at the crack of dawn and never stopped.
So just retire. They've got more money than God.
I know.
Stop it.
Why is she doing this show? And so I'm like,
they
first
keep
of
giving her
all,
money.
like the way she literally was tossing a salad, she was using her hands. She's like, oh, we don't care here. I'm like, I care.
She doesn't.
I don't want to eat that.
She's like, people will pay me to do anything.
Clearly.
And I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. And I don't care.
Somebody goes, wait, is that Rachel Ray?
Yes. As I'm telling you, the TikTok stitches where they like start her video and then they stitch into like,
they're like, what is
they're
happening?
exactly what we're saying. They're like, why? Why is this? Why are we watching
and
this?
everybody like, is she ill? So many people are like, does she have
she thinks it's funny.
does she have an autoimmune disorder? And she's like, no, I'm an alcoholic. Ha ha ha.
Full
I'm
blown.
like, somebody goes, I'm a nurse and I've been treating people who die of alcohol poisoning or alcoholism. And they're like, she's clearly in deep alcoholism,
which is why I'm just like, retire. You know,
it's just why does she think that's funny, or why does she
think
care?
it's funny. I think they get to a point to where they're like, no, you know what's funny is that Food Network still pays me. That's what's funny.
I can't believe it.
And they know what I am. They know what I look like.
And
they
she's
know
not
how I
changing
cook.
a thing.
And why should I? They're
Daryl's watching it. He goes,
money.
He's like, who is that? Did she get a nose job? I'm like, no, she's wearing glasses that are too big for her face, and they're falling down her face, so she looks like she has this little button nose.
I'm telling you.
I'm like, and the reality is that this woman has just stopped caring just doesn't care.
She just doesn't care. Because they just keep giving her money, and she doesn't have to care for them to keep giving her money, right?
Stephanie, I would never. I mean, have a little.
I don't watch her. I don't know who's still watching her.
I came upon it at like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
one night. I'm like, this is a new episode.
The only oh god,
what is?
I didn't even know. The only reason why I even
new
know
shit coming out all the time.
The only reason why I even knew is because the funny Stitch TikToks that people are making.
I've never
fun
seen
of her. Yeah,
I just went online.
That's
and
why I was like, God, she's still.
I literally Googled. I'm like, is Rachel Ray ill? And then all this stuff comes up, and they're just like people worried about Rachel Ray's appearance, and I'm like, yeah, she doesn't brush her hair.
And the other thing,
literally, Stephanie, she has like bedhead.
She's in her 50s now too, and I think
I'm in my 50s. I don't look like that.
I agree. I'm not saying that's the reason, but I think some people remember her from being, oh God, when she was in her 20s.
Yeah.
I started watching her when she used to do the budget shows.
30-minute meals was my favorite show.
No, not even that. When she used to travel.
40 for $40.
$40 a day.
$40 a day. Stephanie, that was such a good show.
I love that damn show. You can still watch it on YouTube, by the way. That's how I started watching Rachel Ray.
It was such a smart show.
Because back then we didn't have any.
I'm in Boston. Can I spend $40 and be full? And she easily did it.
And she highlighted restaurants, and we wanted to go there if we went. I think one of the first times I ever watched her was right before Jerry and I went to Hawaii, and I was like, we have to go to this place that Rachel Ray went to, and of course we went, and
it was like it was only $8,
it was so fun. But then we were like, this is the same one because back then internet was new,
and nobody knew how to explore new cities.
You know how you did it? You got those little travel magazines that were in gas stations,
and those were never the best places.
No, they had
just
coupons.
It was just somebody who was willing to spend $20 on an ad.
Exactly. It was like the penny saver.
Oh, Stephanie, the penny saver.
We loved the penny saver.
You know what? On our next show, we'll have to talk about these things.
Yeah, because nobody knows what we're talking about, huh?
No, they do. But I mean, we were supposed to talk about Top Chef.
Oh shit.
Well, thank you for listening. We'll do another sideshow. And it will be, and we'll recap probably another.
Well, by the
2
time
episodes.
we do it again,
there'll be 2 more, at least 2 more episodes.
Maybe, yeah.
And then, we'll go from there.
Whatever, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for listening, and we'll be back with more judgment on Brandy Bailey. Bye!
And Schwei.